I know I said I was gonna wait until Monday to make a video for the Royal Rumble, but after watching Genesis and after watching Genesis Part 1, I couldn't help but make this video. And finally, I'm recovering from my illness, so let's get started. Genesis Part 1 was not exactly one of the best shows I've seen from TNA. Kind of disappointed me how TNA didn't um, make any of their matches for that show good, and I can see why they decided not to make a pay-per-view for Genesis. It looks like they cut down on that. It looks like they're gonna have Lockdown, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory be on pay-per-view. As far as Genesis, it looks like they're down to just 3 pay-per-views now, which is gonna make my top 10 worst and best pay-per-views kind of difficult to do. But anyways, part 1 I didn't like very much. The whole tag team match they had as their first match for the show, then Bully Ray and Anderson, and then Madison Rayne and Gail Kim, Ethan Carter, Sting. I gotta tell you, some of these matches weren't that good. The only 2 matches that I actually liked from the show was Madison Rayne winning the Knockouts Championship. I was glad that she won the title. She was very glad the title's no longer with Gail Kim, but I am hoping that we do see a new Knockout win the title, because it seems to me that they're just giving it to just these women because they've been champions before. Hopefully, Taryn Terrell, when she comes back, or if she does come back, gets that title and gets a title run. The same with Bully Ray and Anderson. It was not a bad match, but I've seen this match before. I've seen Bully and Anderson go at it before. Anderson's beating Bully, Bully's beating Anderson. So I didn't actually care for this match at all. I didn't care for this match at all. I mean, and besides, it looked like they're just, this thing's not gonna be over with anyways. It looks like they're not gonna be done with these guys until probably Lockdown. And even then, what more can you do with these guys? I mean, Bully and Anderson, I can't see what they can do with these guys. They're not going to get another world title run. I seriously doubt Bully's going to form another Aces and 8 group. I hope not. So, what else can they do with these guys? I can't see what else can they do with these guys. And the main event was just awful. Sting versus Ethan Carter the third. Ethan, I was hoping they were going to give this guy an opportunity, for him versus Sting. Okay. They're going to push this guy. Let's see how well he does against a legend. But no, we had Rockstar Spud as special guest referee, and when Sting was about to win, Ethan got a roll-up, and Magnus came out wearing the referee's shirt and counted a fast 3 count and gave Ethan the victory. I was like, oh my god, really? Really? That's how you put this guy over a legend like Sting? Are you kidding me? That was awful. It was just awful. And the fact that Sting later challenged Magnus to a world title match where he would put his contract on the line, and if he loses, then Magnus can rip the contract up. I just hate the fact that Sting got another world title match, but I guess they just had to. I mean, who else is they going to put Magnus against? I mean, AJ's gone. Jeff Hardy's not going to be back until after they come back from the UK tour, and hopefully by then they have a place to have their shows. But yeah, I guess they didn't have a choice. They got to give it to Sting, who's not doing anything right now. And that leads us to Genesis Part 2. I'm not even going to talk about the segments where we had Dixie, Magnus on the mic with Sting, yada yada. I'm not going to get to any of that. I'm just going to get to some of the matches that I think you guys would rather hear about. The first match was Gunner versus James Storm in a briefcase on a pole match, where the only way to win is to get on the pole, unhook it, and get the briefcase. But apparently, you have to hold the briefcase with both hands and don't drop it. James Storm should have won that match. He unhooked the briefcase. He had it in one hand. James Storm dropped him with a electric chair. And no. The referee didn't announce James Storm the winner. No. Apparently, you have to hold the briefcase with both hands, and that's where you win. That was stupid. I mean, it's obvious James Storm should have won that match, but no, they decided to let it be Gunner because I guess they want to push this guy to be a world champion. I can't see it. And the last few guys who've won that briefcase have not been able to win it. Cass couldn't win it. Hernandez couldn't win it. Samoa Joe couldn't win it. So I can't see Gunner doing it. He's not Edge, who actually was the first guy to win a briefcase with a world title contract inside. And when he won, he did it at an opportunity that was actually good for him, when the champion couldn't even defend himself, and won the world title for the first time in his career. Gunner, I can't see it happen. I can't. I don't see it happen. As far as this match is concerned, I don't think it was a good match. I think, they had a good moment, a good spot where, James Storm hit a Hurricane Run from the top rope, from the top turnbuckle actually, on Gunner. But other than that, this wasn't the best match of the night, and I don't think it was that good at all. The next match, though, was a little better than this one. It was Austin Aries getting a shot at the X Division title again against Chris Sabin, who had his girlfriend in a cage because, last week, or I guess, whatever. She put herself in the cage because she wanted to see if Chris Sabin could beat Austin without her help, or without him using her to win the match. Before then, she showed us a video where she received a gift from Chris Sabin, where inside was a package. Inside of the package was a metal pipe, and she was supposed to bring it to the match in the bag to give it to Sabin. Now, during the match, it was not a bad match. It was a pretty good match between these two guys. I enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that Chris Sabin's character. I mean, years ago this could have worked. This character could have worked, but years now, later, right now, today, this guy is a veteran of TNA. This guy's won a tag team titles, X Division title, and was a world champion. And the fact they have him act like a goof is stupid. And the ending was kind of goofy as well. I mean, Chris Sabin grabs the bag. Inside, it's a teddy bear instead of the pipe. Austin Aries grabs it, throws Sabin in the ring. He hits him with a forearm from the top rope while he had the bear in his hand. And then he put the bear in his crotch. He put it inside his tight. And then he hits Sabin with a drop kick in the corner. He dropped the bear fell out of his crotch, of course. But after that, he hit him with the brain buster and got the victory. And now Austin's the X Division champion. I didn't even actually care if he won the title because it doesn't really matter to me anymore. The X Division title to me is dead. It's the moment they brought out that new title belt, it was dead, just plain dead. The match after this was the best match of the night. I can promise you that. This was the best match of the night. It was Bobby Roode and Kurt Angle in a steel cage. This was the best match of the night. I loved it. I think the fans loved it, and I think you guys who haven't seen this match would love it if you get a chance to see it. I mean, Kurt Angle and Bobby, at Bound for Glory, I loved their match. I just hated the ending. But the matches they've had afterwards was pretty good. And this one was, in my opinion, one of the best as well. And these guys just countered each other. Kurt Angle trying to hit the angle slam or Olympic slam. Bobby counters, locking in the ankle lock. Bobby trying to escape, all that. It was a good match. I loved it. And the fact that there was one moment that I actually was kind of concerned for Kurt, because, like I said, the guy's 45 years old. He's not young anymore. And I worry for him when he does this move. He has Bobby out in the middle of the ring. He goes off the steel cage. He can escape. But instead, he decides to go for a moonsault. He's looking around and thinking, oh, I have to do this, right? I have to do this move. It's going to hurt, I know, but I have to do it. It's for the fans. So he goes up, hits the moonsault. Bobby moves out of the way, and Kurt lands in the middle of the ring. Now, I don't think I've ever told you guys this before, but there's actually a wrestling school 4 hours away from where I live. I went there to have this tryout where you can spend a few days there to see how the basics. They'll teach you the basics. If you want to continue, you can. I was there for only a few days, and let me tell you, it was not easy. Okay, my body was sore after a few days. I could hardly move, and when I tried to sleep, I couldn't even move that much. And every time I did, I would be in so much pain. Luckily for me, I've never done it. I never did a moonsault before, so that was a good thing. But I have felt how the ring floor is like. So just imagine, just thinking about that, and thinking how Kurt Angle felt when he fell from the top of the steel cage in the middle of that ring. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so glad. I am so glad I am not Kurt Angle. I'm so glad I never got to learn that move, because that probably would have killed me. But Kurt, to survive that move, not hitting anybody and just landing in the middle of that ring, I gotta tell you, before I said Kurt Angle lost my respect, but the fact that he was able to do that for the fans and then get up and continue wrestling, even hitting an Olympic slam on Bobby from the top turnbuckle and continue wrestling. I mean, the guy, okay, Kurt, you've re-earned my respect. I'm glad. But just do me a favor, man. Don't do that again. Otherwise, next time it could kill you. Just take it easy on those moonsaults from the top of the cage. Seriously. But anyways, back to this match. I think you guys will like it. It's the best match of the night. It's worth watching. The matches after this, not so much. We have Samoa Joe versus Rockstar Spud. Not even gonna get to this match because it wasn't long. Joe hits Muscle Buster, locks in a chokehold, wins the match. That's it. Then we get to Sting versus Magnus, the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, where if Sting loses, his contract would be ripped up. So the match starts off a little slow, which is not a bad idea. And I thought, okay, we might have a good main event here. Makes up for what happened in these last few weeks. But then Dixie brings out her village people, and they get involved. And this is kind of like what happened with AJ and Magnus in their match, where Dixie had every heel go out there and make sure AJ didn't win. Same thing with this match. Except, Sting had two people backing him up. AJ only had one, and that was Sting. Joe was backing him up, Kurt Angle was backing him up, but no one else came out to help him. Eric Young didn't go out. Abyss didn't go out. No one else came out to help him. Nobody. And I keep wondering, wow, nobody likes Sting. Same thing at Slammiversary. Nobody went out there to help him. And then he makes a new main event Mafia where he brings out Kurt, Joe, and Magnus. 3 guys who didn't go out there to help him for his match, so wow. I'm just surprised how that went. In the end, Magnus wins the match, rips up Sting's contract, and that's it. Not really worth watching. That main event was horrible. It's a repeat of what happened between AJ and Magnus. It's stupid. I mean, I'm keep wondering, why give Magnus the World Championship if you're just going to make him look weak? Alright, he hasn't beaten anybody without any help. He couldn't beat Jeff Hardy in a ladder match. He couldn't beat AJ in their world title match. He couldn't beat Sting one-on-one. The same guy who he beat at Bound for Glory. The guy who he made tap out. He couldn't beat him one-on-one, so you decide to bring out everybody to help him? To help Magnus win? That's not good. It makes him look weak. Makes his whole world title reign look weak. I mean, hell, I would have preferred Chris Sabin as world champion than this guy. Because at least Chris Sabin, got to wrestle against Bully on his own. He actually did well. But, with Magnus, not so much. As far as I'm concerned, Magnus, to me, has not proven to be a great world champion. And I'm sure Wade Barrett is probably laughing at how they're making Magnus look. I was actually going to do an accent right now of Wade Barrett, but I can't do it. I was going to do it, but I can't. So, Wade Barrett is the only one who could do it. Bad News Barrett does it pretty well. I actually like his character better than Magnus, hands down. So, as far as what I can give this grade for Genesis, I can have to give it a 1.5. That's it. That's all I can give it. And the reason it got 1.5 is because Bully Anderson, despite seeing this match happen before, they did okay. Madison getting the Knockouts title, okay. Austin Aries and Chris Sabin, their match was good, but the steel cage match between Kurt and Bobby, the best match of the night. So I have to give it a 1.5. But as far as I'm concerned, the only match worth watching from part 1 and part 2 is Kurt and Bobby in their steel cage from part 2. That is the only match worth watching. So any other match from this show, not worth watching unless you're fans of Austin and Sabin. You can watch that match. If you want to watch Madison Rayne take the Knockouts title from Gail Kim, go ahead. If you want to see Bully Ray and Anderson kill each other, go ahead. But if you're, Dixieland fans, and you want to see Ethan beat Sting, you want to see Magnus beat Sting, go right ahead. Doesn't really matter to me. But like I said, not the best show for TNA. It was horrible. 2014 so far, looking really bad for TNA. That's it, everybody. If you have comments that you want to leave for this video, go ahead and leave them below, and I will respond to them as best I can. I will also be making the video for the Royal Rumble and give you guys the results of what happened at the pay-per-view. If you guys don't want to know what happens, then don't watch the video. I want to be getting comments of people saying negative things about how I was spoiling the Rumble for you. You guys watch the video. It's not my fault. Gave you a chance to leave. Alright, well, see ya, and have a nice day.